we've already been on the phone for
an hour and a half.
An hour and a half. I was just looking at that, doing the math. It took me a minute because I didn't think of that. So, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Catholic Leadership Network podcast. Christy and I have been talking for an hour and a half about everything and nothing that goes on in the ministry world and our lives. So, welcome. We are a little loopy this morning. I overslept, which apparently I needed, but that's okay. But we're here, just to check in with you. We didn't have a podcast last week. I was at a conference and I had every intention of doing some on the ground reporting. But, if you've ever been to a conference, they can be real busy. And the Holy Spirit can move in ways that we don't anticipate. So there were some emotional times for me at that conference. And so I don't know if I would have been able to ask folks, so what do you wish you'd have learned in ministry, or what do you wish you knew in ministry when you first started out? I might have cried through the question. And it just wasn't going to work last week with the topic of the conference, which was very spirit-led. So that's why we didn't have anything last week. And Christy and I just wanted to pop on to just say hello, first of all. Hi. And just to share some things that are on our mind and how we're looking to move forward. And so, Christy, why don't you just share a couple of the thoughts that we had in our hour and a half? Not all of them, Christy, because
okay.
All of the things we talked about in the last.
Okay, well, hold on. Let me think which ones. No, I'm just kidding, you guys. So something that we were talking about is we want there to be like some purpose, and not that there's not purpose to our conversations, there always is, but like that overarching sense that there is some semblance of organization to the idea, so that one thought kind of leads to the other as you're listening to our podcast as they go forward. And also, when we missed last week and we were talking about taking a little bit of a break, Sarah and I both mentioned that we thought it would be good to have some sort of a closer on this season before we start the next, so that it's not just like we dropped off the air and you're wondering what happened to us, that we're just MIA or something like that. We went into the Bermuda Triangle of ministry. No, we would never do that to you guys, because we love you and we want you to know that we're here for you. But we also want you to know that we're real people with real responsibilities, and that sometimes all of that stuff kind of weighs you down and you don't necessarily have the bandwidth to be coming up with brand new ideas for conversations and what have you. So we wanted to make sure we were giving you quality material and a season that made sense.
Yeah, so Christy and I are going to take some time in the next, 4 weeks or so, 4 or 5 weeks, and we're going to work through a scope and sequence for an upcoming season that probably won't be as long as this last one. I think we had 16 different episodes, wow, which was a lot. That was a lot. When I typed up the last one and said, season 2, episode 16, I had to double check my work. So, there was a lot of work there. And I'm not belaboring the work, as I'm passionate about this, and I feel that there is purpose to our conversations and an important place for us to be in this ministry world. I feel like this conversation of the underlying rules and things that people don't tell you about is really important to talk about, because I think there's sometimes things that we do that are underlying rules and we don't even realize that we're doing them. Mm-hmm. And they don't necessarily need to be there. And, so I think it's an important conversation. So I am motivated to continue. I want to make sure, as Christy said, that we're not just throwing something together. It's not just, hey, it's not going to be a willy-nilly kind of thing. I'm trying to find the right term for it, but it's really topics that have meaning and power for you, our listeners. So we are open to hearing your thoughts on this, on what you would like to hear, what you wish you'd have known. We haven't had a lot of conversation in the comment section, but I would hope that, maybe we can start building that up a little bit and to have more of a dialogue about this with our listeners. So we're going to take a little bit of time to do that, and we'll come back in August hopefully the beginning of August, but it might be that middle section of August. Once we've really lined up some really good guests for our conversations, and put together really a solid list of topics and special guests for us. So here we are. We just wanted to pop in and to share that with you, and that we are thinking of you. We didn't fall into the Bermuda Triangle, and that we are regularly thinking about ways that we can support you, whether you are new in ministry or you're a seasoned veteran. But what are some of these topics that we need to talk about? Those elephants in the room.
Yeah, the other I was going to say, Sarah, is if you're one of our listeners that is a friend or loved one of someone that's in ministry and not actually in ministry even yourself, and there's something that you want to bring to the table to say, like, I wish I would know this so that I could love the minister in my life a little bit better. I think we would be open to have that conversation as well, because I know that that's lately, I mean, summer schedules are no joke. With Vacation Bible School and planning and organizing. And then that's whenever a lot of conferences are going on. So the question I always get is, when is the break?
Yeah. So there is this assumption that summertime is easy time.
Yeah.
It is not
so much.
There's a lot going on. And I would say summertime is even that time where we use a lot more of our mental capacity because we are looking at ways to improve upon, to deepen, to change up, to zhuzh it up, to, what can we do differently this year? And that's a lot of brain power to think through.
Yeah.
Because if we're going to make a change or an update or a shift, there are all of these steps that need to take place beforehand. Yeah. Right. So things that we want to update in September, we're working on now or 3 weeks ago. Yeah. So there's a lot of mental energy that is used in the summertime in our workplaces. So know that we are thinking of you, praying for you. And I knowing that this is not an easy time for church workers either. It's not quite the roller coaster of Lent. Not quite. What? Hold on to your butts, Lent. But there's a lot going on right now, and we honor that and respect that. And thank you for honoring and respecting us in our ministries as well. Thank you for your continued prayers for what we do and this ministry here with the Catholic Leadership Network. And we will be back before you know it. And we just wanted to say thank you for all of your support in these last 2 seasons. Please continue to share and like throughout this hiatus, and share your favorite episodes with people who are in your ministry, on your feeds. When you do that, it shows us what is important, and it shows us that there is life out there on the other end of this microphone as well, and that really helps us to know where to focus. So thank you, everyone. Really appreciate that. Christy, do you have any final things before we sign off today?
I just want to say, same as what Sarah just said, that we appreciate you guys. We're thankful for you. We're grateful, and we're just so blessed by your presence in our lives. It just adds so much to the ministry. So thank you.
All right, thank you, everyone, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye.
Peace.